And then when you got the position, so like after all that, the decision-making process names you the head coach. And talking to Jordan back, it was last August I talked to her, and everyone was excited for you to have the position. But I was curious as to, like, with such a long tradition of Pete being the head coach, what are some of the things that you add or kind of re-emphasize or change? Kind of like what have you done to kind of put your fingerprints on the program now in your first year as head coach?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely still trying to. My big thing is we have a lot of the stuff that worked, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were able to have a great longevity of success. And so I was very cautious my first year, and still am, as of like what things to change and what not to.
Yeah.
I think that obviously, again, like I didn't want to turn the program upside down, and I didn't need to. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I told the kids, and that's what I told the team, is that, like, we're not going to take this and just flip it completely upside down. I think kind of the stuff that I put into like my fingerprint, we've changed how we've trained a little bit, made it a little bit more specific. I think we're continuing to build up our expectations. I think we have a staff right now that's really, really hungry, and we have some really high goals. And so I think just changing expectations from the kids' standpoint of like, hey, this is where we're going to go, and this is what it's going to take to do it. And so I think that's slowly what we're putting on our fingerprints on. I think the traditions, like, that's something I didn't want to lose. And I think as alums, none of us wanted to lose that. And so definitely keeping that stuff alive has been really, really important. But we've tweaked training a little bit. We're going to continue to tweak it, and just bringing in some new, different energy, and I think that's been one of the biggest pieces. And
now, we kind of teased it throughout the interview. I want to talk about the Horizon League championships and the Olympic trials. And let's get to some of the fun stuff that happened towards the end of this season. So I guess, like, for your first season as a head coach, building up to that Horizon League championship meet, kind of like what was, I guess, your experience? Bluntly, how was it?
Yeah, very bluntly. I mean, it was a lot. I think when I got the head coaching job, obviously I had Pete to talk to, but I had some other mentors, and they're like, you're not going to know what it feels like to be a head coach until you're in it. And I was like, come on. I was like, this Oakland's home. Like, I've been here. I got it. Like, I don't even worry about it. I think I got to December at our midseason meet, and I was like, you know what? They were right. Like, this is a whole new role. And, as much as when I worked with Pete, he gave me everything to do. He's like, I want you to know how to do everything in the program. And so I felt like I was doing everything, but what I wasn't doing was making decisions every day. My door was always having somebody in there to talk to or to work through something, whether it's athletic training, whether it's sports psychology, whether it's Giz or Steve, or whether it's our athletes, our coaching staff. It became so much more of management for me.
Yeah.
Right? I was going back to Madden, and I was like trying to figure out rosters and stuff like that. And
try to put the meat lineup together and all that kind of stuff.
It became much more of a management kind of thing for me, which was new, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it, but there were definitely times where it gets hard, but I loved it. I enjoyed it, and again, I think the first year felt like I was kind of running on a treadmill, but excited to kind of take some steps forward. Horizon League championships, obviously, I had to keep reminding myself that pressure is a privilege, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure through that meet.
For sure.
And even for our coaching staff and even for our team. I think even the kids felt the pressure because this was all new, right? We mixed some things up. They got a new coach, though they knew me. It's different. And so I think we all walked in there a little bit tighter than we have in the past because we're like, it's a little different. Is this all going to work out, right? And so I think it was great to walk away with wins on both sides. The league is only getting better, which is exciting to see. Obviously our women were able to win very convincingly this year again, which is kudos to that. Kudos to their hard work, because we had a lot of people step up on the women's side. A lot. We lost a big class from the seniors the year before, and the women, my goodness, we knew. I told them beginning of the year, so the door was wide open for some of you, and they stepped right through it.
They kicked it down.
Yeah, they did. And so that was really, really cool for our women. And then I think on the men's side, we knew it was going to be tight. And it was. It was tight all the way through. And they were lucky on Saturday. The Saturday morning session was by far the most dominant session I've seen from our men's team ever. And I think Pete even came up to me afterwards. He's like, I've never seen that. They were just on fire Saturday morning and really did what they needed to do to win that meet. But I'll tell you what, there was a lot of sleepless nights. I don't know how much I slept in the Horizon League Championships. It was a lot of like thinking about what to do for the next day, rethinking things that we could have done. I mean, my mind was all over the place, but I'm fortunate to have some good support of assistant coaches and Pete and stuff like that, and we were able to do what we needed to do. And again, it's kudos to the team. I mean, they worked their butt off all year to be able to win those, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then being able to jump in for the first time as a head coach Horizon League champion.
Right.
How did that feel?
Yeah. That was gives me goosebumps. That was one of the cooler feelings that I've been able to feel. And I think too, it's when you do that, you only like it didn't feel like, oh, like I did it. Like it was like we did this together, right? And I told you that's what made me fall in love with the sport. It's because it takes a group of people. And so I think that water felt extra cold that day, probably because I was sweating a lot. But
it's hot on that pool deck.
It is, but it felt really, really, really good for myself and our team and our staff.